There's so many people that say they want to be a coach, they want to hit stages, they want to do all this stuff. What are you doing every day to bring that vision to life? Show me, right? And if you're not willing to go all in every single day to bring that vision to life, stop fucking talking about it, because we call that a pipe dream. Pipe dreams don't come true. Visions, they come true with massive action. You have to have courage, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to do whatever it takes and be all in. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane. Thank you guys for tuning into the message. Please make sure to subscribe and share it with somebody who needs to be inspired today. Today, I'm going to talk about money and generating large amounts of money to have the ultimate freedom in life. Now, money is not something I talk about a lot, but it's definitely a tool that we need to utilize, obviously, right? And the reason for this is I'm seeing a big disparity, I guess, from my perspective, when it comes to finances and the opportunities people have in America right now. I see people who are still trying to do the traditional 9-to-5 thing who are struggling immensely. Like, I live in California, and even two parents or a couple working full time together, they're barely making enough money to make it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not making enough money to buy a home. They're not making enough money to really have investment opportunities. They're not making money to have freedom of time or to travel or to like really create the ultimate life. They're just struggling and they're living paycheck to paycheck. Then I see the other people that have been able to leverage the online space or some expertise and skill, whether it's sales, coaching, right? Fitness coaching, mindset coaching, business coaching, just the online space, or business owners, people who have built their own businesses, whether it's in the trades or finance or some other sector. Those individuals are thriving. I'm seeing those individuals live in a world where there's no limitations, where they can really achieve as much as they're willing to work for, they can have, you know? And I've been so fortunate to be introduced to that world, because I couldn't imagine just struggling to take care of my family or becoming one of those men that tell my kids, oh, you can't have that, we can't afford it. Or when my wife wants to take a trip or do something or have anything, like I would get all weird about finances and stress. Like, I would hate to be that guy. Just like I don't want to be a fat, out of shape, poor example for my children, or a grumpy, irritable husband, or an alcoholic. Like, I don't want to be anything negative. Therefore, I don't want to be someone who's broke, stressing over money. And I see a lot of guys in that place right now where they are limited in the experience they could have in this lifetime because of their inability to produce revenue, money. So if I was that guy, man, I would not stay in the same 9-to-5, repeating the same pattern over and over. The thing is, I see these same guys and they waste a lot of time. These are the guys that spend all day long on Sunday watching football. Like, are you kidding me? 6-8 hours sitting on the fucking couch watching football when you're complaining about being broke? These are the same guys that spend so much time and focus and energy creating their little fantasy football teams. Like, to me, that's a joke, bro. Like, number one, if you're spending all that time watching football or baseball or basketball, you better be a part owner of the team. You better be a player, like, not just a fan, dude. Same thing with fantasy football. Like, go out and acquire your own team and grow it, right? Like, I'm not going to sit there and play fantasy anything, dude. I want real results. This is the real world. And to me, it's in a form of escape. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun and have hobbies, but you also have responsibilities. And as a leader for your family, your responsibility is to provide. Like, I love knowing that me and my wife are sending my children to the best private school in town that's really expensive because I worked really hard to create this life. I love knowing that my goal is to own a mansion, a $10, $20 million mansion right here on the Riviera in Santa Barbara, because that's our dream home. I want to wake up every day and do the cold plunge overlooking all of Santa Barbara and the Pacific Ocean. I want to watch the sunset with my wife and talk about life and soak up that precious moment. Like, I have an image and vision of my life and the life that I've wanted to create for so long. I wanted these opportunities for so long. I'm not going to now just make an excuse or settle. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work more. I'm going to get better. See, that's what I've done every step of the way, is I've worked my ass off, but I've gotten more efficient at what I do. I've improved my speaking skills, my content creation. I've become a better coach. I care more about people. I've gotten more results, and I've learned from more successful people every step of the way. So I'm not self-made. Nobody is. when I got out of prison, I knew that I wanted to become a coach and a speaker. And I started working as a personal trainer. That was the first opportunity I had. So I went and got certified to be a personal trainer. And then I went to a gym in Santa Barbara, California, and I started working under a personal trainer. So I was just getting leftovers, right? And I was making $1,700 a month. $1,700 a month. I was about to say an hour because that's my standard now, right? More than that. But I was making $1,700 a month, and I'd pay my car payment, I'd pay for the room that I was renting, and I think I had like some insurance, and then that was it. And I was broke all month long, just scrapping to get by. But dude, I had a vision of where I wanted to go in my life. And I knew that that was a stepping stone to get me to where I'm at today. And I remember after a short period of time, I said, screw this. I'm leaving the gym. I've had enough experience. I've built up enough relationships and connections being back home in Santa Barbara. I'm going to start my own fitness company. So then I started my own in-person fitness company. And I was training people at parks. I was doing boot camps. I was training out of multiple gyms. So every week I would drive to all these different gyms and meet my clients. Every week I was posting on social media and going back through my contacts and picking up new clients, right? I was in complete hustle mode. Like I would do whatever it took. Because at this time, me and my wife were having our first child. And now I have a family that I'm starting to provide for. And I knew that I had to produce more. I'm never somebody that just knows that there's bigger challenges and responsibilities coming, but I'm going to keep doing the same shit, right? Like that doesn't make sense. I got to produce more. I got to earn more. I got to take care of them. That was the promise I made to my wife when we got together. Baby, I'm going to take care of you. We're going to the top. That's what I always told her from day one. And so I remember I was training all these clients, and my goal at that time was just to make $10K a month. That's all I wanted. That was like the biggest financial goal I had in my life at the time. And I was getting close. I was making 5, then 6, then 8K a month, driving all over town all day long, training clients, going to the next gym, going to the boot camp. Like I was just doing whatever it took. And then COVID-19 shut down all the gyms. And literally overnight, I lost all my clients, all my momentum, and all my revenue. And dude, I had a family to take care of. We had baby Scarlett, Preston on the way. We had Mason, who was 10. I had my wife. We were in this little apartment, and we had no money. And I remember looking at my bank account just going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me because it forced me to think bigger and to act faster. You know, every step of the way, you're always going to find yourself in a sense of complacency at some point. Even when you hit a certain level and you're crushing it there, whether it's in business or finances or whatever, you got to keep progressing because that becomes your comfort zone. And in your comfort zone, you stop growing, right? There's no impetus that's forcing you to get better, right? So in that moment, I knew that I wanted to take my story, my message online. I had been wanting to write a book. I told my wife about it. And I remember during COVID, she goes, dude, when are you ever going to write that book you keep talking about? Like she called me out, and this is why I love her. And so I said, okay, let's fucking go. I started getting up every morning at 4 and I'd write for an hour before I did anything else. And so during COVID, I published my first book that became a bestseller, and I started sharing my content online. I started diving more in depth to the mindset change that took place during my incarceration. I started talking about depression and overcoming addiction, and I was just raw, real, and authentic, man. And a lot of people liked my message, and I started building my online coaching business. But this wouldn't have been possible without my first business coach. My first coach, I paid $5,200 to learn his system. And I didn't have $5,200. I told you, I just got out of prison. I was broke. But I found a family member that was willing to let me borrow that money. So I paid him that $5,200, and I was able to make it back, pay my family member back, and really start to elevate myself using his strategies. I started finally making more money. I was hitting like 10K online, then 15, then 20. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like I just went online. I'd been wanting to do this forever, and I did it, and look at these results, right? And so like it just showed me, man, that we can always move faster. Like when you have a vision and a goal, go after it like your life depends on it. You know, but I needed that coach to show me exactly what to do. I needed the strategies. I needed the support and accountability. And when I went to hire him and he told me $5,200, like, dude, I did not have $5,200. But look at this is the difference between people who bring their vision to life and people that never do. It didn't fucking matter. I was going to find a way. Like, are you that person that's going to find a way? Or are you that person that's going to find an excuse? You know, and my boy and one of my other mentors, Andy Elliott, always says, your dream is going to cost you more than you're willing to pay. Your dream is going to cost you more than you want to pay. And it's true, man. Like I spent over $250,000 on my personal development and my business development in the last 6 years since I got out of prison. And really in about 3 years, right? Because I wasn't investing large sums of money in the beginning, and, you know, there was little gaps there. But dude, it's allowed me to become a 7-figure earner. Now I'm scaling my business to 9 figures because I've believed in myself. I've invested in myself. I've got around successful people. I've learned and observed what they've done. I've put myself in rooms where I have no choice but to grow and learn and win. Like, that's the difference between someone who achieves and someone who doesn't. And so after that first coach, my next coach was $12,000. And I was having a conversation with a guy about that today. He was asking me about, what does it take to invest in business coaches and what do you get in return and this and that. And like, a lot of people, here's the truth. They're just scared to put money down on the fucking table. They're scared to bet on themselves because deep down inside, they don't believe in themselves. So why would you waste this money if you're not going to be able to bring your vision to life? But investing in yourself is the ultimate form of like, do you fucking want it bad enough? And are you willing to do whatever it takes? Because when you put money down and you put that investment forward, like, you want to get the result. It's going to force you to work harder. It's going to force you to take more action. It's going to force you to make less excuses and find a solution, man. And that's what I've done every step of the way. Like, I've invested everything that I earned over and over and over because it forced me to continue to stay focused and hungry and motivated. And I'm always learning. I'm always growing. I'm always waking up every day ready to produce and take action. And that's what's got me to this point today. I've continuously hired mentors and paid bigger and bigger amounts of money. Like, my last mentor cost me $50,000. And most people go, oh my gosh, $50,000. Like, I can't imagine that. Dude, the people that are making $10 million a year, $100 million a year, how much money do you think they've invested in themselves? Like, do you think they've not invested at all? They've invested 10 times, 100 times more than you could ever fathom, right? How much do you think their overhead is per month? Their mortgage, if they have one, their car payments, their travel expenses, their business expenses. Like, dude, these new levels require more, right? There's more pressure. There's more capital that you have to invest. There's more overhead. Like, the amount of overhead now that I have just from a personal standpoint each and every month is what most Americans make per year, like per fucking year, right? And I shared a clip this morning. I showed a little screenshot. I think it said like $11,000 or $12,000 generated in the first 2 days of this month. And like, I want to show people, like, number one, that we're generating revenue because we have a business and we have strategies that work. But dude, if I want to change the world, I need to be able to grow a real business, a successful business. I'm not out here just winging it, hoping that I reach the stars and fulfill all my goals. I'm actively getting better every day. I'm putting systems in place, right? I'm strategic, and I know what it takes to reach it to the top. So for those of you right now that think like, oh my gosh, $12,000 in 2 days would be great. Like, dude, you're thinking small. You're playing small. Whatever it is that you're doing per month in revenue, whatever your overhead is, like, dude, you're probably at the bare minimum. And I just want you to know that if you want to build your dream life, you got to think bigger. This is the main message here. You got to think bigger, and you have to, dude, you can't let anything stop you. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's money, fear of investing money, not having the money. Like, dude, those are all excuses. You can find a way. If the cartel had your family and they had a machete to their neck and they said, Bill, Steve, John, you got to get 20K in the next 3 days and we're going to give your family back. Otherwise, we're executing them. You would find it 10 out of 10 times. Look that's the mindset that you need to be successful. Okay. That's the same way you need to think about your goals. That's the same way you need to think about investing in yourself, hiring coaches, getting in the right rooms. It's whatever it takes. Otherwise, you're not going to become that supreme leader that other people need. Like, just go settle and get your 9 to 5 back, or just stop talking about wanting to change the world or be a coach, because there's so many people that say they want to be a coach. They want to hit stages. They want to do all this stuff. What are you doing every day to bring that vision to life? Show me, right? And if you're not willing to go all in every single day to bring that vision to life, stop fucking talking about it, because we call that a pipe dream. Pipe dreams don't come true. Visions, they come true with massive action. You have to have courage, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to do whatever it takes and be all in. I love you guys. I want to see you at the top, because that's where I'm going. I want you to ride with me. Let's go. Look, you guys, I'm on a mission to change the world, but I can't do it by myself. I need you to step up and lead by example. And I need you to subscribe and share this podcast episode with everybody that you know that needs to be inspired to level up in their lives. Like I said, I'm on a mission to change the world, but I can't do it alone. I need you. Let's do it together.